Right, a warm welcome to this leadership circle. So this follows the partnerships meeting, and we're very much looking forward to sharing with you. We have a number of questions for you, and if you came for the organizational partnerships, you're welcome to stay for this one. This is more specific information for those who are interested in developing their leadership capabilities around support to children and also contributing to the program. Now, for those of you who are just joining now, please, if you would like to follow this in Ukrainian, we have the support of our interpreters, and we're very grateful for that support and for their skills. We actually want to kick off with a question, and that is the following. And I think we didn't have time to translate this one, so you of course responded to the invitation to join the leadership circle. So we'd like to ask you to define in your mind what is the leadership circle. We gave you very little information to explain what it is actually in practice. So if you'd like to respond to this question, please do raise your hand. We're going to build this leadership circle together if there's sufficient number of people who'd like to support this. So yes, please go ahead. Your microphone is already unmuted, I believe. Marina.
Доброго вечора.
Good
І,
evening.
для мене я асоціативно
To
проведу, що
me,
таке для мене лідерське коло, що це
what I
згуртування
associate
людей,
with the
які хочуть
leadership circle is it's
підняти
a
свій рівень
community of
лідерських
people
якостей
who want to
і
raise the
впроваджувати,
quality of their
вести за
leadership
собою
skills
і
and
бути світилом.
to lead, to shine the lights.
That's a wonderful way to put it. Anyone else would like to contribute? When you think of a leadership circle around this support, this critical issue, supporting children, what comes to mind? What would you like it to be? Before we tell you, we can share some of the ideas that we have. We wanted to make sure we hear from you first, consistent with our peer learning approach and just how we do things at the Geneva Learning Foundation. Anyone else would like to contribute some initial thoughts?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, loud and clear, Lena. Please go ahead and remind us who you are and what you do.
I am Elena from Romanian Red Cross Association, and I'm a student at the moment, and I'm also involved in some volunteering with children from disadvantaged environments. And in my opinion, I think the circle leadership means a group of people, not only professionals, but also amateurs who want to help and build a community together to help all the people in need and to be part of something big for the community.
Thank you, Elena. That's also wonderful. All right. Anyone else? If anyone is quick to raise their hands, we'll hear a third perspective on how to define this idea of the leadership circle. We want to figure this out, work with you to co-create this leadership circle. But we certainly, of course, have some ideas. Let's go to Suzanne. Suzanne, please go ahead, and I hope your microphone is working. Yes.
Yes, it's working. Yeah. The leadership circle is. What I understand is to have as much trained people as we can, where everyone can take the leader role of helping around, of helping as much children and vulnerable people around that can help, and to train others to work with children. In working with children is a very delicate. So yeah, the leader has to be trained and the ability to train the people around him. Do they also become leaders?
Thank you very much indeed. I'd now like to, some of you, of course, especially the alumni already know her, but to introduce Yulia Yushchenko. She will be facilitating starting on Monday, but really on Tuesday with the first live session, the next Ukrainian language cohort, and she also was key to the inaugural cohort. Yulia, I would love to hear from you. If you could introduce yourself, tell us a little bit about your experience, and then also tell us how you would define the leadership circle in one sentence, of course.
not sure that I can introduce myself and define the leadership circle in one sentence, but hi everyone who already I met, and new faces, or I would say new names on the screen. My name is Yulia. I am Ukrainian myself, and I've been facilitating the Ukrainian cohorts and peer learning PFA for children. I am a PFA for children and for adults myself, and that was a wonderful experience, and actually a quite new experience for me, which I would recommend you all share and involve more people, as I really appreciated all the joint outcome that we made and that we will make in October and November as well. For the leadership circle, and I have a bit of a privilege because I read the description of it, but I would say that it's actually a community of people who share the same value and desire for change, and that joining their efforts to spread the word about a specific topic and to make joint changes on different levels, on the level of practice or level of advocacy, any others that you have in mind. Thanks, Reda.
That's great. Thanks so much, Yulia. And I thought, especially for Ukrainian language speakers who did the inaugural cohort with you, or those who are going to start next week, it was important that we hear from you. I also want to thank and recognize Charlotte and Tatiana from our team. Tatiana is helping me keep up with the Ukrainian language messages. Now, this is what we said. But really, this was really open-ended. We want to figure this out with you. What will be actually useful to you so that it is worth your time? We know time is the most precious resource. So the Leadership Circle is intended to be. The initial idea was kind of hub where everyone involved in this project and really in supporting the needs of children can come together to ensure the project meets the needs of participants. But we will be the final definition. We will co-create together. So the purpose of this session is really to introduce the circle and to explore how you feel your leadership can contribute to really strengthening peer learning and thereby strengthening support to children. We also have some short-term opportunities to contribute and benefit through the leadership circle. So that's really what we're hoping to be the purpose and the focus today. And we have many questions for you, so please be prepared to answer the questions. We'll be unmuting your microphones and of course, but first calling for volunteers before we, shall we say, volunteer you. So we're really impressed to welcome a range of leaders in the room. Some of you are managers and organizational leaders, meaning you are responsible for leading an organization. But that is not the only people that this is about. This is about anyone who really wants to contribute to this program, to go beyond simply being a learner or a participant in the exercise, but to help shape the program as well. So the next question is, do you see yourself as a leader? Why or why not? So I know Marina has a hand up, so let's go. But I don't know if this is the question that she intended to answer. Marina, please go ahead.
Ну, хочеться зазначити, що
I wanted to say
для мене
that
лідерство
for
це
me,
про навчання.
leadership is
Тобто
about
все
learning.
це дуже відносно.
It's all
Кожна
relative.
людина має лідерські
Everyone
здібності, але
has leadership skills.
потрапляючи в певну життєву
But
ситуацію, ці
when
лідерські
you
якості
find
можуть
yourself
або
in a life,
проявлятися,
in a
або
real life situation,
або
these leadership abilities may
розвиватися в
be
правильному напрямку. У
realized
зв'язку з
or
тим,
develop in the
є в цій
right
команді
direction.
ще сильніший лідер
And
від тебе. Володіє ця
sometimes
людина
there
лідерськими
is another
здібностями
leader in the
краще, ніж
team
ти.
who is better than you,
Але в тебе
and
завжди є змога
you
рости,
always have an opportunity to
оволодівати новими
grow
навичками, щоб
and
стати лідером.
acquire more skills in leadership.
That's beautiful, Marina. Thank you. And I would like to say we have heard there are a number of people who we have not yet heard from. And two things to say. One is we know that if you are here on a late Friday afternoon, you obviously care about children, but also about the invitation that we shared with you. So we really appreciate your presence. And I'd like to encourage you to also participate, to make your voice heard, even if it is difficult for you, even if it makes you uncomfortable. That is also You've already shown leadership by showing up for this meeting. I'd like to really encourage you to go a step further and contribute answers to some of the questions or just your own thinking about this leadership circle. So the next question, let's get very hands-on. What would you like to get from a European-wide circle of leaders who are all involved in supporting children through psychological first aid at a specific times when PFA for children is appropriate, but also in many other ways? And what would you be willing to contribute? So what would you like to get from the circle, and what would you be willing to contribute? That is the next question. And I see one hand up from Victor. So let's go to Victor. Victor, and even though you were also in the organizational partner meeting, please do introduce yourself again for those who were not present with us.
Мене звуть Віктор Гончаренко,
Yes,
я з
I'm
Івано-Франківська.
Victor
Наразі
Nesterenko. I'm from
займаюся
Ivano-Frankivsk.
психосоціальною підтримкою дітей.
I'm working in psychosocial support for
Що
children.
я хочу отримати від цього?
So what
Від
would I like
цього
to get
насамперед я
from
хочу
this?
отримати найцінніше – це
I
досвід.
would like to get
Досвід, як
experience
бути в таких ситуаціях, як
experience
переживати
in
такі
of these
ситуації. І
situations, of dealing with these
найголовніше, як допомогти
situations,
дітям в
and
цьому,
mainly
як
of
справлятися
helping
з
children
такими
how to
ситуаціями.
cope with
Це
these
по-перше.
situations.
А
That's
зі свого внеску я
above
тільки
all.
можу сказати одне, що я
And
готовий
I can
розповсюджувати цю
also say
інформацію і
that I am
надалі
prepared to
нести це
promote
дітям, тому
this
що я вважаю, що
information
дитина
and
– це
continue helping children
білий лист, котрий
because
ми можемо написати як гарно,
it
так
is
і погано.
something we
Тому
can
це
create from scratch,
гарний приклад,
either
як
well
треба
or badly,
жити, і
and
я вважаю, це
lead
дуже
by
цінно дати
example
це дітям.
and
Дякую.
give this support to children. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Victor. Yes, so the question is, what would you like to get, and what would you be willing to contribute? Please raise your hand, or you can also simply unmute your microphone and speak. Yeah, please go ahead, Marina. Was that you? And I see, Victoria as well. So let's hear from.
Те, що я хотіла отримати, це,
What I
звичайно,
wanted to
можливо,
get
повторюся,
from
але скажу,
this,
що
and
це
maybe I will be repeating
безцінний досвід
myself, but
колег,
it's
тому що знань ніколи
very
багато не
valuable,
буває.
priceless
І хочеться
experience from
практичних
colleagues,
навичок
because
для
it never goes
свого
amiss. And
багажу,
also
щоб
getting
бути
practical skills for
ресурсною в
my
роботі,
own
щоб бути
resources to be able
ініціативною, і
to
головне
show initiative and
іти в ногу з часом і
to keep
допомагати нашим
abreast
дітям, бо
of the
діти – це наше
times
майбутнє, які
and
потребують
help our
зараз,
children.
як
Children are
ніколи,
our future, and they need
кваліфікованої
us
професійної
more than
допомоги.
ever. They need
А
professional,
принести,
good
звісно, що
quality
поділитися тим
assistance.
досвідом, який
And what I
маю.
want to bring to contribute is my experience.
Thank you very much indeed, Marina. We welcome other contributions. Let's see. We have Anna. First Victoria, and then we'll go to Anna. Please go ahead.
There is a proverb that says, if you want to go quickly, go alone. If you'd like to have quality, go together. So I think when we speak about PFA for children, we need to be especially confident, especially influent in the topic, and have a lot of tips from people who have experience in this area. And I'd like to go together and to have quality in providing PFA and in teaching PFA for children. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Victoria. So we'll go to Anna and then Anastasia, I believe.
In my opinion, it's very important to be united, because I like the word circle. It means that we all together and we are equal, and we can share our experience, and we can support each other, and we can help to develop each other. Because working with children, it's always very essential and very, very intensive process. Especially, it's very hard to see how children suffering because of the war. And in this case, to be more stable, to have our own professional and personal resilience is very important, to be united by one purpose, just to help, to support, to show the children this ray of light that life goes on and we will help you. So I'm willing to contribute also all my professional skills because I already have a lot of experience how to support and how to help children and to teach them accept these helps, because sometimes, as I told already, sometimes this is challenge, especially with teenagers. Thank you.
Thank you very much indeed. Anastasia, I'm asking you to unmute, but you'll have to do something on your device, of phone or tablet or computer, in order to open up your microphone, please. Otherwise, we may not be able to hear from you. Okay, please go ahead. Oh, you, yeah.
Так, вітаю. Я так розумію, що це
Indeed,
до мене,
greetings. I
тому
guess
що в
you
мене
were
там не
addressing
виходило
me.
підняти руку.
I
Ну, звісно, те,
was
що хотілося
having
би отримати,
trouble
це
with raising my hand
досвід,
in terms of what I would like to
тому
receive is
що
experience.
вже другий, третій
This is
рік
because
поспіль працюємо з
for
дітьми, які
2 or
постраждали
3
від
years in a
військового
row we have
втручання.
been
Дітей дуже
working
багато.
with
І
children
дуже
affected
хочеться
by the
від колег
military
отримати
invasion, and
нові знання та якісь
I am
ресурси
very
для
much
подальшої
willing
роботи,
to
тому
receive
що
from
це дуже
colleagues some
актуальна тема,
resources,
і
some
на це є дуже
knowledge
великий попит.
to
Ну, а що
tackle
я
that.
можу дати? Ну,
That's a
також я
large
можу поділитися
topic, and
і
there's a
своїм
great
також
demand.
досвідом,
On my
бо
end,
я є
I'm happy to
керівником
share
громадської
my
організації,
experiences.
яка працює з
I
психосоціальним
come from
та
a
емоційним
civil
станом
society
дітей,
organization
які
that
постраждали від
addresses
військової агресії. Дякую.
psycho-emotional and psychosocial status of children affected by the Russian aggression. Thank you.
Thank you very much indeed. Now, we are going to go to the next question. And the idea of sharing experience, everyone is fine with it. It sounds good in principle. Everyone enjoys it. It's part of human experience. It's part of just living life. But practitioners are busy, and we know, so you are already an exceptional group of individuals because you actually made time on a late Friday afternoon to attend a meeting to explore this with us. And first of all, we really appreciate that. But the question is, how does sharing experience with fellow practitioners actually help you? Because unless we're clear on the purpose, like ultimately how this is going to help you, it can be nice occasionally to share experience with others, but who has time for it, in a way, is what I am asking. So would welcome your thoughts on this issue, because very often everyone wants to share, wants to be in a community, wants to share best practice, but no one or very few people have time for it. So before we go any further with a leadership circle, we do want to hear from you as clearly as we can. So please raise your hand, or just you can also just unmute your microphone to let us know your thoughts on this particular question, please. And Victor, you are unmuted. I don't know if that was intentional or not, but please go ahead if you'd like to contribute on this question. And again, we want to encourage those of you who have not yet spoken up. If you have heard, in some cases, Anna, for example, speak more than once, we really want to hear from you. And she shows you that it can be done, that you can speak in your own name and make your concerns, your thinking. We know that if you're here on the Friday afternoon, it is not by accident. It is because you deeply care about supporting children, and you are interested enough to respond to the invitation. Anna, please go ahead.
Yeah, thank you. Sometimes maybe even one issue for a very different child can goes in a very different way. So it's important to share our experience because sometimes we act as experts and professional people who are really willing to help and support, but sometimes we act also emotionally. So we are doing something, we see that it helps, and we see that it's more successful than it was. So the child is more resilient, and sharing experience to help understand what exactly I'm doing, because when I'm talking about this, what my colleagues doing, oh, I'm acting the same. So it's about feedbacks from colleagues, it's about our own insights in professional developing. So it's very important. Thank you.
Thank you very much. All right, we're going to go now to actually introduce some of the initial ideas that that we came up with in our team, thinking through some of these issues and what might go into the leadership circle. So, first of all, it's a voluntary commitment, and we know that's not for everyone. So, first of all, think, do you have time? Do you have the energy? Do you have the will to make that kind of commitment? Of course, for those of you who are from the Red Cross, you already know a lot about volunteering. And you understand what that means. For others, you may be volunteers, so you're already making that commitment. This would be in addition to what you are already doing. So I'm not trying to discourage you. I'm trying to ensure that to suggest some of the issues that may come up. And sometimes we see very enthusiastic individuals, make all kinds of commitments, but then be unable to follow through because they've substituted really sort of clear thinking for that enthusiasm. And we need both, and we welcome and encourage both. So as a group, we identify potential actions that you could take individually and collectively to strengthen the community of peer learners around PFA. But we also want to make sure that you taking actions, getting involved in ways that fit your interests and your actual availability. We feel that's really important. And whether or not you are formally part of the leadership circle or not, as the Geneva Learning Foundation will be recognizing every time you make a contribution in a project to the insights, participate in an exercise, we'll be seeking to recognize that. And then the time frame also is quite short. We're already in October. This is a project that runs through June 2025. We'll see, perhaps the leadership circle, with the right level of commitment and results, might actually outlast the project, and that's one of the possibilities here. So here are some of the considerations, some of the thinking. I apologize. I'm working on my Ukrainian, but yes, not quite ready to present to you today. And then here's some thoughts about why your leadership matters. And first of all, you are the practitioners providing the support that we're focused on, and that makes you credible voices to your colleagues, to your peers, and to organizations about the benefits of peer learning. If you show up today, if you show up the next time for the leadership circle, we'll be on the path to show that credibility and the value of peer learning. Second is, you are the ones who can tell us what works, what's needed. And we know you're busy, so we'll try to do that asking in ways that are respectful and not time consuming. And then really, those of you who are here today are potentially the core of a really much larger community. You are exceptional. There are many others who received the invitation and they're not here today. So that is also important in the way we're thinking about the leadership circle. Next, the Leadership Circle is new for this program, but it's not new for the Geneva Learning Foundation. And there are a variety of ways in which leadership circles in other program areas, such as immunization, other areas of global health, have actually made a difference and been useful and been really driven and led by practitioners themselves. We will support, we will facilitate. We've also ended leadership circles when we've observed that there simply wasn't enough voluntary commitment, interest, shared purpose to sustain a leadership circle. So most of all, we think that whatever your choice is with respect to the leadership circle, we want to make sure that there is recognition. And some of the things align with the organizational partners. So for example, if you join the leadership circle and participate in its activities, we believe potentially then you would become the focal point for this program in your organization, but also in your city, region, or country. So for those of you who don't have an organizational affiliation, the Leadership Circle can provide an avenue for you to really be the focal point and show your support, and also be the first to benefit from the program. We'll, of course, invite Leadership Circle members first to share experience during public and private events. You'll be recognized as contributors and authors in publications and other documents. We'll invite you to participate in the review process for official program publications, and that too will be recognized. And then we'll invite you to be the ones to provide inputs and feedback to really guide the future development of this program. So, I'd like to ask one final question here. I think, no, actually, there's more, but of these different examples, which of these, if any, would you be interested in seeing and bringing to life as part of a commitment to contributing to the Leadership Circle? So again, becoming the program's focal point, sharing experience in both public and private events, being recognized as a contributor and author, participating in the review processes, and then really helping guide the program development and activities. So contributing to the program, to the governance of this certificate program. And of course, members of the Leadership Circle will be first in line for the opportunities, for the benefits, but we first wanted to ask this question. So please, if you'd like to contribute here, go ahead and raise your hand or simply unmute yourself. All right, Susanne, please go ahead. And then Elena.
Hi.
Yes, Susanne, please go ahead. And
Yeah.
this is really, further thoughts as after sharing these additional slides.
So the question is how I would like to contribute. It's all the points that are written, like being a focal point and given all the experiences that we have in practitioners and working with supporting children. I think we would like to contribute with all the experiences and all the things and knowledge that we know and everything that we can give for this program to make it better and to make the best of this. Yeah.
So Susan, can I ask you, how many hours per week do you spend supporting children?
As many as I can.
Right.
I
Right.
never counted. But for me, I don't have working hours when it comes to children.
Understood.
Yeah.
And so, Susan, I imagine you're quite busy and the work that you do is urgent and important. Where would you find the time to commit to something like the Leadership Circle, to sharing your experience during public and private events? You're already doing that today, but just asking you, and even more importantly, obviously the people who are here today are all exceptional. You are not the norm, because most people would not spend a part of their Friday afternoon thinking about how to support children. So that makes you truly exceptional. And so how would you get your colleagues who may not be as motivated or committed as you are? How would you, what would you think could lead them to actually engage and actually see the value of sharing, of really doing more to go above and beyond in the support?
At the time when I want to present any program to my colleagues or to any volunteers that I see that they can be helpful in the program, I have to do it in a way when we have to show the importance of the program and also the importance of their input in the program. So
Understood.
they will get engaged and they will be willingly. especially we have to know like where we have to talk about our programs or with whom we have to talk about our programs. Yeah.
Wonderful.
And
Thank
I
you,
know that
Susan.
there are many. Yeah. Thank you.
And yes, and just before we hear from Elena, just to be clear, there will always be a small group of exceptional individuals who are willing to give their time for a cause, for a shared purpose. The real challenge for you as leaders, as you know, is actually to move the needle with your colleagues in ways that can then get more people involved, more people to commit. Elena, Andras, and then Jana, and then Marina.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. First of all, I want to say that I want to give my time to this project as much as I can because everyone is short on time and time I can say that time is my worst enemy and everyone I think can barely find a few hours to take a breath and relax, and I will give my time to this project as much as I can. And of course I could also help by sharing my experience, as much experience as I've gained among the months. And I also could give feedbacks and help in activities.
Oh, Elena, I think we've lost you, but
Yes.
we heard that commitment in your voice.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, you're back. Yeah.
Yes. And these are the most things I could contribute in this project. And I hope I'll do a good job.
All right. Thank you very much, Elena. So we now go to Jana and then to Marina. Go ahead, Jana.
Ще раз доброго дня. Так,
Hello again.
чутно мене.
You can hear me,
В
right?
першу чергу ми б
Loud and
хотіли
clear.
взяти ми б хотіли, наша організація
We
хотіла б
would like,
взяти участь в
our
цій програмі.
organization would
В
like
першу
to take
чергу, що
part
нас
in this
мотивує,
program,
це ми
and we're
хочемо, щоб
motivated,
наше
first
майбутнє
of all,
покоління
by
більш
the fact that we want
мало
our future
підтримку, і
generation
ми
to be
відповідаємо за те, щоб
supported,
наше
and
покоління
we are
психологічно було
responsible
здорове.
for a
Що ми
psychologically
можемо дати
healthy
цій програмі?
generation.
Це
What we can
ділитись
offer
своїм
to the
досвідом,
program is our
говорити про свої
experience.
спостереження,
We would like to talk about our
і приймати участь
observations
у публікаціях
and
або
to cooperate
матеріалів,
on
розробці матеріалів,
publishing
які
or
би допоміг би
developing
дітям, постраждалим
projects
дітям
that would help
відновлюватись і більш
those
комфортно себе відчувати
children who have been
психологічно.
affected to be comfortable,
Дякую.
to feel themselves comfortable psychologically. Thank you.
Thank you very much indeed. So now we move, conscious of the time. Oh, no, we said we would hear from Marina. Marina, please go ahead. Sorry.
I
will be brief. To me, time and children are not equivalent because happy children, healthy children, and psychologically resilient children are of paramount importance. And we would like to get the knowledge on this project and to make sure that our children would be able to receive professionally qualified help. This is very important. And it is important to give your personal time, and it's nothing compared to being able to restore and build a happy and healthy child and with a future.
Thank you very much indeed. Now, we've talked about this issue as professionals. You are busy. Your priority is the support you provide to children. Not everyone has time for peer learning. Not everyone has the inclination to do so. And so, one of the purposes, one of the reasons that we published this experiences of children, caregivers, and helpers in both English and Ukrainian. It's been out for about a week now since we launched it at the. I believe at the commencement event on the 16th, so more than 2 weeks actually. And so one of the reasons is that we have at the Geneva Learning Foundation an insights unit. And what they will do is they will take, in this case, the experiences shared by 873 applicants and distill that into thematic summaries that we intend to be useful to practitioners. So this is a way of reconciling that dilemma. You may not have, not every one of your colleagues is going to be a leader, is going to be interested in contributing to the leadership circle, but they may be interested to see what they can learn from the 873 practitioners by reading 2 or 3 pages on the theme that is of greatest interest to them. However, for them to know that this publication exists, for it to reach them, requires usually a leader, like the people in this room, to bring that to their attention. So I hope that all of you have already downloaded it now. And one of the first practical activities that we wanted to suggest was to experiment. Is this something that the leadership circle should be engaged in? When there is an insights publication, this represents an opportunity to share more widely. So even people who have not invested in peer learning can still benefit from it. And that is, that can help also show the value. Why would, some people may say, well, is Marina or is Suzanne or Anna or Elena, are they wasting their time with this program? Spending a lot of time sharing experience, so what? And I'm putting it very crudely, but it may be that you will have colleagues who may think things like that. And so something like the Insights report may be a way to show what is the value of such a thing. So in order to experiment, what we're going to invite you to do is we'll share the partner toolkit. And this has a combination of social, what we call quote cards with quotes from the report. And many of you contributed. If you applied to the program, you're probably a contributor to it, to this publication. We'd like to ask you, if you could then share on your social media. Some of you may not use social media very much or at all. If that's the case, then this is not for you. But for those of you who have who use social media every day or every week, then this is the kind of activity that can help, again, the peer learning achieve impact by spreading it more widely. So the question for you there is, first of all, would you share these insights with colleagues? And how can this be actually useful to yourself and to fellow practitioners? So I'd like to, I'm going to lower all the hands that are up, and perhaps and we know some of you are listening. If you're still here, you're listening attentively. We know that you're motivated, otherwise you would not be here. So I want to again encourage those of you who have not yet spoken, if you'd like to do so, whether you are an organizational leader or simply a professional who cares about these issues. You can just unmute yourself or raise your hand. We'd love to hear from you. And again, the idea is we're going to share the this toolkit, so you'll be able to, and we'll invite you to share, because this demonstrates the value of peer learning, and this would be one kind of activity. One of the things that we would ask members of the leadership circle. Hopefully there will be enough members so that we know not everyone will be able to respond to a call to action each time, but we hope that enough of you will be able to respond that we can spread the message and find more leaders, more practitioners who have that yearning to do better for the children that they are supporting. So is there anyone who'd like to share? And I know I went very quickly, so I hope it's not, it's clear what this is about. It's really about sharing peer learning. So please do raise your hand, or just if you'd like to respond to this question, how can you share these insights with colleagues? Would you do it? Yes, would it be worth your time? And how could this be useful? And it is fine if you'd like to raise your hand or unmute to tell us that actually, no, you would not have time to do something like this. And this is not at all what you have in mind for the leadership circle. We can be candid honest with each other as well. We need to know if, as practitioners, any of you would have time to actually share this and to use this toolkit that we've put together, really with you and other practitioners in mind. Yes, Marina, please go ahead.
Я хотіла запитати, ви зараз
I
ставите нам
wanted to
питання, як ми
ask,
зможемо
is this a
поширити
question
звіти
of
серед
how
своїх
we
колег
could
і
circulate
досвід?
this report, these insights among colleagues?
Yes, starting with, would you be able to find time to do this? And then, yes, how useful do you think it would be?
Ну, я вважаю, що кожна людина,
think
яка прочитає, якщо поділитися своїми колегами, кожна людина,
who,
кожен професіонал,
any
фахівець
professional
прочитає і
or
зробить для себе певні
specialist
висновки. А наскільки
will be
корисно,
able
ну, це
to
все
read
відносно
and
для,
make their
відповідно,
own
до
conclusions.
тих
How
глибинних
useful
знань,
it will
до
be, that depends on
досвіду
their
людини.
in-depth
Це
knowledge
все
or
в індивідуальному
experience.
порядку. А ділитися
That's
можна
quite
серед своїх
individual,
колег
but anybody can
декількома
share this with
способами,
their colleagues
поширювати
in several ways.
так само через соціальні
We
мережі,
can
на
use
особистих
social
відносинах.
media or use our personal contacts.
Thank you, Marina. Is there anyone else who'd like to contribute on this issue? Okay, I see. Victoria, yes, please go ahead.
Yeah, I think it's important to share this experience with as much people as possible, because PFA and PFA for children, it's a soft skills which very important. Every person can provide and can use in their life, because we live in such conditions where this experience with skill extremely important. Nobody know when and where we meet people who need PFA as a person, even not as professional, even. I don't say exactly. I don't say even about professional area where we can meet these needs where we not expect. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Victoria. All right. Any other contributions on this around this question? So the idea of that as leaders, one of the things that you would be willing to do, perhaps, is to share with colleagues and help spread peer learning beyond the circle that is truly already committed, already engaged. And thank you, Anna, to say I will share this information for my colleagues too in my social media portal, Instagram and LinkedIn. So we'll be sharing the links to the Geneva Learning Foundation's social media. But this is not about the Geneva Learning Foundation. This is really about the knowledge and experiences that applicants to the program shared in earlier this year, and what we learned from that. So that is, we believe, worth sharing. But of course, we want to see. So I'm a bit concerned because of the low number of people who've responded on this issue. Perhaps this is not something that you would like to, you would be willing to engage in. We will ask you, and we'll really make the determination based on how many of you actually follow through and do share, to see if this is something worth doing in the future. Aliona, please go ahead. Do introduce yourself. Tell us who you are and where you work. And then the question is really, is this of value, of interest to you? Is this something you would share with your colleagues? Why or why not?
Добрий день всім. Я
Hello,
працюю,
everyone.
співпрацюю з благодійними
I
фондами,
work
які
with
надають
charities
першу психологічну допомогу
working
саме
in
дітям.
psychological first
Я
aid
проживаю в
for
місті
children.
Харків.
I
Це
live in
прифронтова
Kharkiv.
зона
It is a frontline
України.
area in
І
Ukraine,
до нас дуже багато
and
звертаються
we
і
are
дітей, і
often
дорослих
approached by
саме з
children
такими
and adults
потребами, яких
with these
цих дітей
needs.
та дорослих ми
These
маємо можливість
children and
перенаправити, якщо є
adults
така
can be
необхідність, до
referred,
більш
if need be,
таких глибоких фахівців з
to
психологічної
more
допомоги. В мене багато
better trained
є колег,
specialists in
яким би оці
psychological
звіти
first
були б
aid,
дуже
and I have
корисними.
many colleagues
І
who would
я
actually
сподіваюся,
find
що
these insights very
якщо я
useful.
зможу цим
And I hope
поділитися, якщо в
that I
мене
will be
буде
able to
доступ до цієї
share them,
інформації,
that I
то
will get
я
access to this
залюбки
information,
надам
and if I
і
do,
поділюся
I will
своїми
be
колегами, які
delighted
співпрацюють
to
разом зі
share them
мною
with my colleagues who work
не
with
тільки в
me,
Харківській
not
області,
only in
але й по
Kharkiv
всій Україні.
region,
Це
but
все
all
можна
over
зробити через
Ukraine. This
соціальні
can be
мережі.
done
У
through
нас
social
зустрічаються
networks,
такі,
and
випадають такі у нас
we
зустрічі, тренінги, де
have
ми спілкуємося,
training
обмінюємося
sessions,
досвідом.
meetings where
Тож,
we exchange
я
experience.
залюбки
So I
могла
would
б
be
цим
all for
досвідом
it,
також поділитися з
and
ними.
I
Їм це
will
буде
be
дуже
glad to
корисно.
share it with them. It will be very useful for them.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Alyona. And so we will indeed be following up and inviting you to do exactly that, and then share with us back the feedback, because that is one of the things we are very much on our minds. Ina, please go ahead.
Добрый день. Извините, что я говорю на русском
Good afternoon.
языке.
I
Я сама с
apologize
Украины,
for using my
значит, из
Russian,
станицы Луганской.
but
20
I am
лет я
from
почти
Ukraine, from the
работаю с
town of
детьми.
Stanitsa
Психология
Luhanska. For
после
almost 20
войны
years,
или
I have been
тяжелых
working with children in
тяжелых
terms of
травм.
psychology,
Я
following
почти
the war,
10 лет
also some
работала в
heavy
Босной
trauma.
Герцеговине и Хорватской.
Uh,
У меня очень
I
большой
also worked
опыт.
in
Я
Bosnia and
вернулась назад
Herzegovina
в
and
свою Украину
also in
с
Croatia.
2014
With
года,
large experience,
так
I
как у
came
нас
back
длилась война с
to Ukraine
Россией.
in 2014 as we
Там
had
я помогала
a war
детям
with
после
Russia started back then.
травмы, так как
This is where
у
I
нас
helped
всегда эти 8 лет
children
шла
following
война.
trauma, and given
Сейчас
that
я
we
нахожусь в
have
Исландии,
been
так же само
having
я здесь
this war
помогаю
for
детям,
8
которые
years.
перенесли
I have been
травму, остались без
helping children.
конечностей.
Now in Iceland,
У
I'm
меня
helping
очень большой опыт.
kids
Я бы, конечно,
who
хотела
suffered
поделиться со
trauma,
многими. У
who
меня очень
are now
много
left
есть
without
друзей за
limbs,
границей, я имею в виду
etc.
по всему
I
белому свету.
try my
Много
best. I've got
знакомых в
lots of
Красном
friends all
Кресте,
across
с
the world.
которыми я буду говорить о этой
I've
программе.
got
И
lots of
что больше, буду
acquaintances
говорить о детях,
in the Red
потому что
Cross.
дети — это наше
I will
будущее,
talk about this
и
program and
они
also about
должны быть
children, as
счастливы.
children are our
Ну,
future
я
and they
больше не знаю,
must
что
be
сказать. Вот,
happy. And I
буду
do not know
распространять,
what
говорить, что
else I can
больше.
do.
Я и
I will
так
be sharing,
почти
I'll be
20
talking
лет
more.
веду эту
You see,
программу и
I've
говорю,
been
что дети
running this program for almost 20 years,
это
and
наше будущее, их
I'm
нужно
saying
помогать,
that the children
спасать,
is
и в тяжелой
our future.
ситуации
We
мы
need
всегда
to
должны
help
быть
out
рядом.
and rescue them in severe situations,
Спасибо.
and we have to stand next shoulder to them. I thank you.
Thank you very much indeed. Now, so we'll be following you'll receive on your email the invitation to share this with your networks. And part of it is just to get some feedback from you also. Is this something that you would consider doing as part of the leadership circle on an ongoing basis? But let's try it one time and see how it works out. There is a specific invitation for alumni. So if you successfully completed the program, the inaugural cohort, and speak Ukrainian, we've sent out an invitation, and we'll be having a meeting, a briefing for alumni who wish to get involved in the cohort that's starting very soon on the 8th of October, on Tuesday, but even more so the cohort that will be that will be starting in November. So we're going to be again figuring out with you how you can contribute. We'll have some proposed ways, and then we'll be looking for your feedback and to really work together to find meaningful ways for you to engage in supporting new colleagues who are joining the peer learning exercise. So I'm conscious of the time. We only have 10 minutes left, but we do want to share with you, and this is, we've mentioned this before, but we're going to share in more detail this time and really emphasize how leaders in this program, so members of the leadership circle are going to be, we would really like to involve you in developing what we call the full learning cycle. So the idea of the full learning cycle is that it is an invitation to go beyond the sharing of experience, but to really take, for example, if you developed a case study and reviewed the case studies of others, we asked you to think about, is there a project idea, something that you could do grounded in the experience of the case study that could help you strengthen support to children. So this is part of the Geneva Learning Foundation's a full learning cycle approach, and really for those of you who have experienced the peer learning exercise or who have heard of it, this is only just one component in the Geneva Learning Foundation's approach. And the idea of what we call the accelerator is really to support you in implementing a local project to strengthen support to children, and of course to use psychological first aid within that. Second, so phase 2 in 2025 of the program, of the certificate program, will continue to run peer learning exercises as long as there is interest and colleagues that wish to develop a case study and so on. But we'll also be offering the opportunity to really be connected with each other and to support each other in developing and implementing a local project to strengthen and then support to children. And also we'll be working together as a community to figure out if there is a simple set of indicators that we could use, a shared measurement system to measure progress in health outcomes. So we know there are very elaborate frameworks in mental health. Be looking for something super simple that someone who uses PFA, who is not a mental health professional, who may be a teacher or other educator, who may be a social worker, can actually measure if the PFA they provide is making a difference. And if so, how would they know? So that's what we would like to work on together, and then to continue learning with colleagues throughout Europe. So I think this is my final question, but really to open up to a discussion is, this is a very brief overview of what we hope to be doing in phase 2. Is this something that you would like to contribute your leadership to? Why or why not? And obviously, is this something that you might have time for? All right, and we're going to, yes. We have one microphone unmuted. Please go ahead if that is intentional. Aliona, please go ahead. Otherwise.
То в мене ще, дякую, не вимкнувся після мого попереднього спічу. Щодо імплементації та впровадження цього проєкту, будь-якого проєкту, який стосується саме першої психологічної допомоги дітям, то саме в цій громаді, де я зараз проживаю, це Харківська область, це дуже було б актуально, і місцева влада підтримує такі проєкти і надає приміщення для того, щоб ми проводили заняття з дітьми, надавали допомогу дітям. Також дуже велика підтримка місцевої влади, коли ми проводимо тренінги саме з цієї тематики, і також і для дорослих. Тому ми в активній такій фазі написання проєктів, і нам дуже цінно і дуже важливо мати партнерів, які зацікавлені в розвитку саме цієї тематики.
Thank you very much. And to clarify, in some cases, some of you may not be used to developing projects. For others, you may be a project officer and it's your job to develop and implement projects. Whatever the case may be, this is an open system where anyone who wants to use their experience to make a difference for children and to not do it alone, but to do it connected with fellow professionals who have that same will to make a difference. That is the opportunity that we're hoping to create, but we would like to co-create that with you to make sure we get it right and that we build something together that will actually help practitioners, not only the select few who are exceptional, and that's you in this room, but to help the greatest number of practitioners. Not everyone is a leader yet. Everyone has that potential, but we believe that by working with you, working with your leadership and using really figuring out how to collaborate in the best ways possible, we can actually support the spread of many local projects, all connected to each other, with everyone supporting everyone else, sharing lessons learned, sharing successes, sharing, of course, challenges, and perhaps failures as well. But we hope that through this approach, by being connected to each other, we can all grow stronger by and all stand to benefit. But for a system like this to work, it requires leadership. And in responding to this first call to action today, you've shown that you have the potential to contribute. The next steps are really in your hands. We have just 4 minutes left, so I'm going to. And usually, I'm not used to doing most of the talking in our initiatives, so I'm going to be quiet now and really leave the few remaining minutes for any closing comments, thoughts, reflections, and perhaps further questions as well before we close today. Yes, Graziano, a warm welcome to you. Please. Oh, okay, you have muted yourself back. So most of you are able to unmute yourselves. Otherwise, raise your hand. We'd love to hear from you. Otherwise, we'll close this meeting. And we know that the inaugural meeting of the Leadership Circle, there's always a lot of energy, a lot of excitement. We'll probably invite you to a follow-up meeting, and that is when we will see if the initial interest and if the initial energy and commitment is sustainable. Anyone who makes it to the second meeting, we will know your commitment. We also know there may be very good committed people who are unable to attend for very good reasons, such as professional duties and obligations. So I think we are done, unless there's someone who'd like to share a last word, reflection, comment, or question. And we thank you for your participation. I know there are a number of you who've been listening that we have not heard from, so I want to make sure that everyone has a chance at making your voice heard and sharing your comments, questions, concerns, and reflections. Right. Thank you so much. I want to especially appreciate, we're busy getting the next cohort in Ukrainian language ready. So I'm especially grateful for the participation of Tatiana, who I know had urgent priorities, as well as Yulia and Charlotte. We wish to thank our interpreters, and we'll be following up by email with the next steps. After this, you do get an opportunity to share your feedback through the feedback form for our events. So do let us know any comments or questions or concerns that you may have not been able to express today. Thank you so much. Wishing you well, and look forward to seeing this leadership circle emerge really in ways that can help you, that will be useful to you, relevant, helping you make a difference, and of interest to not just the exceptional few, but your colleagues. Thank you very much indeed. Just to share the final few messages. As Charlotte says, thank you everyone for your commitment. I can actually feel the energy in the room, that just the level of commitment and interest, and we hope that we won't. Our aim, one of our first goals is to not disappoint you.